I want to start by using the word authentic. And I want you all to know that an assessor is looking for authenticity in your writing. So I hear oftentimes, well, oh my gosh, another teacher got a 3 or got a 4, and I wrote just like her or just like him, and I don't understand, this particular teacher did this exact lesson and didn't get these feedback statements. And I empathize with you on that 100%. I'm not saying that I don't empathize, but what I want to do from a coaching standpoint is to help you to look inward and see that the biggest thing here is fear of trusting yourself and your own ability to write and put the evidence down on the paper. Honestly, you can do this. And many times we think, oh, I need a model, or I'm going to do exactly what someone else did. And then if they pass, then I will definitely pass. I hate to use that word pass, but it is what it is. So I want to encourage you to not depend on models, but depend on your own belief and trust in yourself. Because I've seen teachers that were at a 2.0 or 2.3 go back to a 1 just because they were so afraid. They shifted everything they knew to get them to a 2.3 and went totally 360 another direction, and it's not working. It just doesn't work. If you're at a 2.3 on C3, you're close. You're getting there. 2.75 is proficient. So you're not going to just upset the entire apple cart for that. And that's what happens because of the fear that we have around, getting that same score again. Authenticity is super, super important. So if you find yourself or found yourself trying to write exactly like somebody else did, utilizing their exact phrases and things like that, the authenticity would not have been there. And the assessor would have kind of seen like vagueness. If you got a 2, then they found evidence. If you got a 2, they found evidence. Let's remember that. If you did not get a 3, they didn't find specific enough evidence. Okay? So that's what we need to work on, is being more specific to you, not to the way someone else did it and got a 3. They might have been in a different certificate area, and the way assessors look at it is just different because of the standards. The standards are different. We're going to depend on ourselves inward, and we're going to depend on understanding the difference in analytical and descriptive writing. Okay, now I'm off my soapbox. We're on to our document here. So what is in green is what the assessor needs. They long for this. What is in white is what will keep us at a 2. For sure, I will definitively keep you at a 2 if you're over on the right-hand column. Because remember, the Christmas tree that we saw earlier, what's on the right is the top of the Christmas tree. It's the descriptive. It's just setting the stage. It's not where they pull evidence from. So if we look at the right-hand side, the 2 is more like a summary. It's like an informational writing piece. It might even seem like a research paper. There is no analysis or opinion at all on it. It may be story-like. It may outline the order of things that you did and events. It might tell us, what's going on. You'll say, I did this and I did that and whatever, state or list those ideas for us. It might summarize the whole lesson. And it might state that there were links, like that, the students did meet the goals, but it never tells us how and gives us the evidence from the actual video. that, you can see in the video when, citing the evidence of the video. So it's really more of a summary, a story, or a telling. And for that, it's clear you did something. It's clear you are, becoming the standards. That's clear. But the conciseness of connecting to the evidence and the convincingness of those kids really, truly were impacted and you really, truly are those standards cannot be there because there is no evidence on the right side with full-on descriptive commentary. And that is what I always call fluffy. You have to describe. There are questions that ask you what. Those what questions want you to describe. But remember, on the Christmas tree, it's the tip. It's the smallest part. Don't go on for a page and a half with the what, because the page and a half needs to be down in the middle and bottom part of the tree. The why, the how questions, the in what ways questions, those need to be the bigger bulk of your writing here in any of your portfolios. That's what it needs to be. So if we look at what analytical commentary looks like, where assessors are so happy because they actually can find information, you may be presenting an argument, an argument that you had to change what your lesson plan was. You originally had planned to do this, but you have to change it because you can see the kids did not know XYZ. So it was in the best interest of the kids to get the misconceptions handled before I moved on. That would be analytical, and that would be evidence that would be like an argument. It also will sound like you evaluating strengths and weaknesses, evaluating what you're doing really well and what the kids are doing really well, and what you need more work on and what the kids need more work on. So you're thinking out loud for the assessor. I've recognized through ... that I need ... Therefore, in the future, I will ... That's analytical commentary that they can find lots of evidence in. You may be making judgments that are reasonable. So you're judging, the students' work and how they're doing on something. You may be identifying why things are relevant and significant. Why this is significant because this is important to note because this is relevant to goal number 2 because, and this shows me that ... That's analytical voice. You're delving into interpretation. You're interpreting what is happening in that video. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to candidates in a C3 video format who have said, I did the video and the assessor's going to watch the video first, and then I just wrote my written commentary. And so there's no connection. There's no interpreting of the video for the assessor. That's your job. You've got to interpret the video so the assessor knows what you're thinking. You're almost like a sports commentator interpreting what's happening during the game, but you're interpreting after the fact. So use a transcript. Make sure you transcribe. I tell people, turn on your Zoom room and let your video play from wherever, if it's on your phone or iPad or a camera, Zoom will pick it up and give you the transcript in 30 seconds. The Fathom recorder on Zoom, it will do that for you. And then you don't even have to type out a transcript and watch it a million times. But you can really read through and look at that transcript and then go back to the points in the video that really matter to interpret the video instead of summarizing for us, like so-and-so did this and so-and-so did this and so-and-so did this. You're like interpreting it. That's what we need. And then connect the relevance of links between pieces of information. The assessor is not going to link for you. You've got to link it. You've got to link what's going on to the goals. You've got to link what's going on to the future needs and the student's strengths and weaknesses. You have to tell them this. So please tell them this. Let them know that, this is a match. This is what's going on. So I teach you all inside of the course, if you're inside of it, think like a lawyer. Give us a claim this, that these are the students' strengths. Here's evidence. Here's their weaknesses. Here's evidence. You really need to interpret like a sportscaster. You need to think like you're in front of a judge. Remember, the base of the tree is persuasion. That you can't just tell a judge, Judge, Tracey's innocent. She's a real sweet girl. She's so kind to everyone. That isn't going to work. The judge isn't going to buy into that. Judge has got to have really solid evidence of how I'm innocent or how I'm guilty. And so that's what I mean by really thinking like a lawyer here. And biggest thing too is, for those of you not in the course, and that's fine, you don't all have to be in my Component 3 course. I want you to remember the value of matching the questions, the prompts, to the rubric bullet point. Just like I showed you in the last video how to match the feedback statement to the parts of the lesson plan, take your prompt questions, each piece, don't just the whole, I break them apart in little pieces, and then match them to the rubric bullet point. And then that rubric bullet point matches those feedback statements, which is in your scoring guide. And then those feedback statements and the rubric and the questions all align with the standards. And the standards is what you have to become. So if you have alignment there, then you start to narrow and you start to say, oh, okay, I'm going back to that Christmas tree. I'm going to use, I recognized, I used, I chose. In reflection, because this happened, you're going to really start to get in those voices and get out of the descriptive summary, telling, stating, listing, all of that. Got to get out of that quickly because there's no evidence to be found there. The evidence is going to be found inside of analytical and reflective writing. I think I'm beating a dead horse to death right now. All right, so those of you who saw less feedback statements than if you retook and you're like, gosh, I still didn't make this, less feedback statements, that's a good thing. Like, you did a lot of things much better. But it tells me, my opinion, only my opinion, that they're still not getting enough of what's in green, that analytical commentary. They need more, and it needs to like knock them over. Like when a cat comes out of a litter box, that kind of, whoa, there it is. I'm going to get it. I'm going to pluck it out. Evidence. It's right there. So they don't have to dig deep and think. All right. So I hope that all of this was super helpful for you. I'm still cheering each one of you on. Please don't give up. This is a goal and you will reach it. I mean, our students sometimes have to have 2, 3, 4 times for things, and it's okay. It is okay. We're going to do different to have different, and we're going to keep growing big. Also, make sure you find somebody that is in your area or somebody that just loves to read, and do not hang it over their head if they said it's awesome and great, and then you get a 2, because they aren't the assessor. They aren't the one that's actually sitting there assessing. They haven't been trained to assess you. They're simply reading for what you ask them to read for. If you ask them to tear it up and show specific evidence of each one of these things, then that's what they'll do. But if you just ask them to read it for clarity, does it sound good? And they're probably going to tell you, yeah, it sounds great. Good. Very good. I love it. Yes, I hear it. So be very specific with what you wish for and what you ask, and be okay with people just slicing up your work, because some people will do that for you. Yeah. Work with each other. Be vulnerable. All right. Good luck and keep being you, and happy holidays, friends. Bye now.